Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of the VoIP Guys. We've got a bit of a special one for you today. We've got something really new for us. We have integrated something called the WombatDialer. Now, Matthias, what is the WombatDialer?
Yes, we integrated a new product of Loway. We already integrated Q-Matrix into mobydick.
Yeah, the call center solution. Yeah,
the call center solution. Now Loway has a new product, or not so new, but
it's been around for a little while, but it's
now it's useful and it's worth to integrate now.
Yeah.
So we integrated it in mobydick, and it's a predictive dialer.
Okay.
For everybody who does not know what the predictive dialer is.
It's fairly self-explanatory though.
Yeah, most of the people just don't know it, I think. A predictive dialer is if you have to dial a lot of numbers in an automated way.
Okay, so
let's say you can do an example.
Yeah, marketing campaigns or anything quite like that, where you're calling one number after another, and it just puts the numbers all through the system.
Yeah, and then it just calls a number, a landline number, for example, or a mobile number. If the guy answers his mobile phone or landline, I don't know, then he gets connected to an agent of mobydick, or not even an agent, maybe just a voice prompt, which says the party is cancelled or something like this. It's not good, but maybe.
I wouldn't like to be one sending out that message. Okay.
Yeah. So if you just want to inform a lot of people about something, automated with voice prompts or with humans as an agent, then you can use a predictive dialer to do it very fast and very efficient.
Okay. So what do we need to do to be able to integrate it then?
We can have a look to the machine. I prepared something for you.
Okay.
This is a mobydick setup, a standard mobydick setup, just a community version, and I installed it, and it has that IP address. And I installed a WombatDialer on a separate machine. You should install it on a separate machine and not on the mobydick server itself, because it uses different technology like another database and stuff. So please don't try to install it on mobydick, you will destroy your system.
That's a good tip there. Don't do it.
No, really not. How can you do the setup? It's really easily explained in the documentation of the WombatDialer. I just tried it with Ubuntu 14, not 12, 14, because it's the latest LTS version. And I did it exactly as it was described here. And it just worked out of the box. It's not that much. You just have to install the packages, download the WombatDialer, unzip it, copy it to the Tomcat folder, and restart it, and you are ready to go.
Okay, and this manual's on the Loway website?
That's on the Loway website, and there is also an alternative way. You can use a Docker container if you want to, or for, I think, CentOS, he has a own repository which you can just use, but he described everything, and it's just easy. I think my first setup took 10 minutes or something.
That's pretty quick.
So I had no idea about WombatDialer. It was really, really quick. The integration in mobydick was not that easy, but, the setup was.
Fine.
Okay, so what do we have to do? First, we have to understand how it works. Here we have a documentation.
Yeah, this one is in German at the moment, but I mean, this is how new the integration is. By the time this video is online, it will be in English. I will do the translations, but I haven't had time to do it just yet.
But what you need is the picture. The picture is multi-language picture, so you can understand it.
Picture says 1,000 words.
Yeah, and we need a script out of there, and it's also, you can just copy and paste it.
Okay.
I will explain how it works. Here you have the WombatDialer server, here you have the mobydick server, and all they need is a connection through the Asterisk Manager interface.
Okay.
So WombatDialer is for Asterisk, generic Asterisk, but we did some special integration for mobydick to make it more smooth integration. But at the end, you just need a connection to the mobydick Asterisk server.
Okay.
That's simple. Then you load a list of numbers into the WombatDialer. He will just dial the numbers. He will run the campaign you are defining. And then he will just call targets. No, not targets. They call it Just numbers, number lists.
Yeah.
in my example, this is a mobile phone. The guy answers the mobile phone, and then WombatDialer automatically connects it to mobydick, to an agent at mobydick, to a user at mobydick, to an IVR menu, to a voice prompt.
Yeah.
It just has to have an extension. If it has an extension, you can dial it. You can connect the out.
That's pretty handy.
Thing to mobydick.
Okay.
So all what you can configure in mobydick, you can just connect anybody of your list to anything in mobydick. So you can be very creative.
Not bad.
That's how it works, and now we just move to mobydick, and the first thing we have to configure an Asterisk Manager account.
Okay.
How do we do that? Appliance Asterisk Manager accounts. But first we have to go to services and enable the IMA connections generally for the public.
Okay.
Normally we just allow mobydick to connect to the Asterisk server on the same machine.
Yeah.
And here we say also everybody else on the network is allowed to connect to the AMI. Next thing is appliance manager accounts. Here you add a new account. We call it Wombat. We give him a very secret password. No, that's the user. Wombat, the very secret password now. A good idea is here to enter the IP address of the WombatDialer, so only Wombat can connect with that user, nobody else. So that's another layer of security. And just close the net mask that you're sure that just that IP address is allowed to connect.
Right, okay.
Then here we have all the things he's allowed to do. I'm not sure if all is really all, so I mark them every time. All items. Takes a little. Maybe you can just sing something for us. Save. That's it. That's the user we need.
What's next?
What's next? Oh, we can go to Wombat.
Okay.
And connect Wombat. What we should do is apply all the settings. Because as every time in mobydick, if you change something, it does it not immediately. You have to apply jobs and then it changes the configuration. So then we move on to the WombatDialer. We have to find the login button. If you have a fresh database, they install a user called demoadmin and demo as
password.
Then you can see the dialer status, it's down. Because we did not configure anything for now. This is the list of what you have to do. This is the basic configuration, and just go from top to down and do everything. You can skip opening out, I think, because mobydick can do that also. But we have basic settings. We need lists and we need a campaign.
Okay.
Basic setting, you have to add an Asterisk server, which is mobydick in our case. Mobydick, the server IP address is that one. The port is standard, you can leave it as it is. This is the user we just created. Wombat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As always, high secure, safe. The rest is okay for us, the defaults are okay for us. So now the next thing is we have to add a trunk. You need a trunk to the outside world.
Of course, yeah.
Of course, because you need to call to someone which is not connected directly to mobydick. So what's the problem here? You have to know the mobydick internal trunk name.
Right.
If you have a look here, we have a trunk, of course. That one, I called it provider, it's a zip trunk. But now the problem is, what is the real name, the zip name of that trunk? To find that out, you can connect to the mobydick CLI. It's described in our wiki how that works. That connection just crashed away because it was open too long, I think. Just restart it. mobydick, and then we make it a little bit bigger again. Too big. Then we go to the Asterisk console, and then we just type in zip show peers, and there you can see our trunk name. We have only one trunk, so in any case it starts with mdc underscore trunk underscore conf, and then it can be 1, 2, 3, or I don't know.
Yeah, so if you had more, it'd be whatever number.
Yeah, so you have to find out if you have only one trunk, then it's for sure mdc trunk conf -1. But to be sure, you can go and say zip show peers. You can see the name here. You can see the username and the host. And I think you should be able to guess which trunk is which one, because you have the host and the username.
Okay, right.
So that's what you need. And that's the real name of the trunk.
Okay.
The real name. Then back to WombatDialer. You can add the trunk now. The server is mobydick for sure. The trunk name is, you can just choose it. And then you have to enter the dial string. It's always the same, but here you have to enter the real name of the trunk. And then you have to add num. Num is replaced by each number he dials.
Okay.
So if you have a list of 10 numbers, then he just dials that number and he replaces that variable with the number he's just dialing.
Okay, yeah.
Save it. So we have a trunk. You can define a capacity of that trunk. That's how many lines do you have to the landline network or something like this. Then you have to define an endpoint. An endpoint is when I call somebody through the trunk, to whom do I connect that call if he answers it?
Okay.
I can choose mobydick again as server. I have two types. I can use a queue, that's a team in mobydick, or a phone that's just any other number.
Right.
With the queue, he can also fetch some states of the queue, how many agents are available, so that he every time knows how many calls should he place to the outside, because he cannot place, or he should not place more calls to the outside than available agents.
Of course, yeah.
So he can get some information about that. I have a description. I call it team 1. I have an extension. We have to create the team, so we can choose here. I think our team will have the extension 200, and we have to create the context, Wombat. We will install a script on mobydick, which is called Wombat.
Right.
So we just create the context Wombat. We will do that next step, but for now we can just define it. We want to connect everybody we reach on the outside to the inside team 200, and we do that through the context Wombat, which we will define very soon.
No, you need to enter a team name under the queue parameters.
Thank you. Team 1. That's it for now on WombatDialer. Now we have to go back to mobydick. First thing is we have to install a script. If you have the latest version of mobydick, then we shipped that already with mobydick.
But with this version, it's not in there yet.
And the WombatDialer integration is compatible to just any mobydick 7. So if you have an older one, you don't have to upgrade it.
Right, okay.
You just can install the script. We do not integrate it, we need the script. You can just copy out the script of our documentation. Here you can see again all the steps which are necessary to do the integration. You just copy that script out of here, put it in there, save. Next step is we need the team. We just add a team. It's a queue. The title is team 1. You should call it the same name as your campaign or as your group of agent. I don't know.
But for testing purposes, this is fine.
Yeah. Then we have the members. I am the member. That's it. So now I have the same team on mobydick, and everything should be connected. I just double check my mobydick client, because I use the mobydick client with the integrated softphone. So every agent does not need a hardware phone. You just can use the mobydick client for the integration. So what's next? In the next step, we have to define the campaign. We really want to do the calls and so on. So we go here to the WombatDialer and define the campaign. What do we have to do? We have to edit a list of numbers. So we click on Edit, make a list. The list's name is blah. You should import the list. So if you have 100, 200, 1000 numbers, do not type them in by hand. Yeah. You just should import them. But you can do it by hand if you want to. And then you can fill in the number. We have a mobile number here for testing purposes.
Which is 160-964.
964.
55.
55.
350.
350. You should, it's a German number, so you should enter it in the international format.
Yeah.
So it's easier to process everything if it's all in the same international format.
Of course, yeah.
So this is what you can do. And that's it with the list. You can leave those tabs open if you want to, and then it's easier to jump around. And then you can define such a campaign. Plus a campaign name, test. Then you could define an active period. When is the campaign active, when not? You can do some time scheduling stuff, but you just skip it for now to get the basic stuff going. This is an important detail. You can provide here the caller ID and the caller ID for the agent. What is the dial caller ID? That's what the guy you are calling,
the number he should see.
He should see in his display.
Right, okay.
So if you have different campaigns, then maybe you want different numbers which the customers see, or you don't want to provide a number or something. So here you can decide what to do. In my case, I provide a number, and this is our number here in the office, the test number, and this is a free test extension 830. So I want to display that number to the customer or to the one I call. Then this is the other way around. The agent, if he gets the call, then it would be nice if he sees the number of the guy on the other end of the line.
Yeah, of course.
So this is every time somebody else. So there is a variable, and the variable is replaced by the current number of the call.
Okay.
So the agent sees, this is customer XYZ. Then we have to define other things. Which trunk should we use? We can use more than one trunks, but just that one. Which endpoints should everybody connected, which is in the list, to team 1. And then, of course, the list. Which list do I want to call? That list. You can do some rescheduling rules and so on. What do you want to do if a number is not reachable? Do you want to reschedule it? Do you want to skip it out? Do you want to change something on the campaign? It's very dynamically here, and I think you can do many settings at that point, but we just skip it. Also, the opening hours are available, that you can just start all your campaigns and then they stop automatically when your agents go home, something like this. But you can also, you will see, you can also do everything manually. You can start and stop your campaigns by hand if you want. So that's it. Another cool thing is, now it would be that way. If I start the campaign, it calls your mobile. You will answer it, and then it connects to the mobydick client. and the mobydick client will display your mobile number in my mobydick
Right. Okay.
desktop client. So maybe that's enough, but it would be much nicer if I could see which customer number.
Of course, yeah.
Or even start an application like my CRM tool or my ERP tool or my, I don't know, ticket system. And mobydick can all do that for you. The only thing is you have to have the same phone numbers in the mobydick phone book. But this is not a problem if you have a list created.
Yeah, if you've got the Excel file, you can just upload it into mobydick.
Yeah, then you could first upload it to WombatDialer and then upload the same or a little modified list to mobydick.
Okay.
And then that's it. So I just do it nice. Customer. Here's a phone number. 49160
964
964
55
55
350.
350. So that's all you have to do. Okay, now we should be ready for our first try. So here you can see the mobydick client, which is connected, and the supervisor now decides to start the campaign.
Okay.
So I go to the live view. I can see my available campaigns. I can see my active runs, which are actively running and which were closed recently.
Okay.
So this is the available campaign test. It's not started yet, and I just can start it. No, the dialer seems to be down. I have to start the dialer.
Oops.
That's true. If you start the dialer here, it does not mean it starts immediately dialing some campaigns or something. This is just a dialer engine which is started.
Yeah.
And of course, he's right. I should start it before I start the campaign. Again. Start. Campaign test is started. He tries to dial out. Everything takes a while. And then your mobile phone should ring after a moment.
So.
And here you can see also the number.
Yeah.
And if he answers, I get immediately the call connected to my desk. And I can see this is the nice customer. He has that number and I can answer it. So you can say something.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
And here you can also see all the live data. You can now see, this call is connected. This call is connected. I can even close that campaign stuff. Hopefully. Yes, it's connected to the agent with the number 100 at the moment. So everything is okay. Then I just hang up. And here I have an entry in my journal that I know I called a nice customer and so on.
Cool.
So that's not enough. If I want to enhance that, I could use the actions in the mobydick client, and I can say if I get an external call, then please open my software by URL or start the app or start the script and just open my CRM, my software where I can directly see details to that customer. So that's a unique thing if you integrate the WombatDialer with mobydick, that you can do things like this.
Quite a lot of things you can do with that.
Yeah, you can do really a lot of things and you can be very creative, I think. Another thing is, you heard it, if you answer the phone call, then you get a ringtone again, or not a free tone?
A ringtone, yeah.
A ringtone.
Yeah, it starts ringing.
It starts ringing, so maybe this is not nice, but mobydick is able to make voice prompts in front of the team, so you could say something like, hello, this is
Welcome
company
to
blah, blah, blah,
exactly,
I don't know, something like this. Or you could use auto answer on the phones, and then there is no ringtone, but the phone of the agent answers automatically.
Okay.
But then it's very important that you log off of the queue as agent when you leave the desk, because then it just says plop, then your phone is online.
And they can hear everything that's happening in the background. And
So it's a question how you want to organize it. But you can handle all that with mobydick, and I think it fits your needs if you configure it well.
Okay, Wow, nicely done. And yeah, as I said, as it's such a new thing that we've got integrated, we're running an introductory promotion, which of course means there'll be a little bit off. Should you be wishing
a little more off.
a little more off, yeah. Should you be wishing to integrate WombatDialer into your mobydick. But there'll be more information about that to follow when everything goes live in a couple of days' time. So that's it, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
Until next time. Goodbye.
Bye.